Good afternoon, GHSA High School football officials. I hope you're all doing well today. Welcome to week 6 of Plays for Crew Discussion 2025. Can you believe here we are, week 6, halfway through the regular season after this week? Where has the time gone, my friends? Hey, let's take a look at the play that we looked at last week in regards to the field goal. All right. So as you recall, we have a field goal. I think there was like less than 2 minutes left to go in this game, and I think the team that is kicking a field goal was maybe winning by 1 or 2 points. We have a block, and then we have a possession, and then we have a run in for a touchdown. So hopefully all of you discuss this play amongst your crews. Let's talk about this. Let's look at what the rule says here. Okay. Again, these are the 3 plays that we're looking at today. So a scrimmage kick. Article 3 says any K player may catch or recover a scrimmage kick while it is in or behind the neutral zone and advance unless it is during a try. This was not a try. This was a field goal. And the key word here is may catch or recover a scrimmage kick while it is in or behind the neutral zone. So let's go back and let's look at this play and let's determine whether or not this catch or recovery happened in or behind the neutral zone. All right, so I'm going to go frame by frame here. So we have the kick, we have touching, which is ignored because it's behind the line of scrimmage. The line of scrimmage was roughly the 26-yard line, I believe. And then we have the ball hit the ground at the 26-yard line. And then we have the player recover it or tap it or potentially have it at the 26. We see him bobbling it, and he actually gets possession at about the 22 or 21-yard line. So based on that, would you rule that this crew correctly officiated this play? I would say the answer would be no, because the recovery did not happen in or behind the neutral zone, but beyond the neutral zone. Now, I'll just say this is a tough play. It's a big play. I know we've got a couple of younger year officials on this. The crew did get together and discuss it. And based on what they had and what they knew, they did not get the opportunity to go back and review this frame by frame by frame. And so they went with a touchdown. So again, this is a good reminder for us to always say, on field goals, it's live, and it's also a good reminder for us to think about we've got to have it in or behind the neutral zone in order for the kicking team to be able to advance. The other thing that I wanted to point out in this video related to the mechanics, and there's really nothing in the manual and 6-person that says this, and the majority of what we're talking about in these videos are 7-person mechanics. But it talks about fake kicks here, but this holds true also for blocked field goals. As a guideline for fake kicks, when the ball is snapped inside B's 20-yard line, the line judge and headline judge will go to the goal line. The back judge and field judge move along the end line to the sideline. When the ball is snapped on or outside the team's 20-yard line, the field judge and back judge move toward the pylons on their side of the field, and will have the goal line. So again, just from a mechanics perspective here, the deeps should have been going to the pylons for this. There's a little bit of a move there. But again, just deeps, just to remind you about that, okay? Pretty good little play there. All right, so this play here we looked at last week where the center has his hand in the dirt, and then he puts his hand off of the dirt. So let's look at this right quick. All right, is this legal? Is it okay for the center to have his hand in the dirt and then pick it back up? We had a pretty lengthy discussion about this on the training committee. We know that the linemen, the guard and tackles and others, if they put their hand in the dirt, they can't do that. But what about the center? Can he do that? So we had a pretty lengthy discussion. We got Dr. Bodie involved, and so we learned this. All right, so again, 7-1 says under B, make any movement that simulates the snap. We don't see that at all in this play. The center is not making any movement that simulates the snap. No one on the defense even acted as if they recognize what he has done. And then Article 5 says no player other than the snapper shall encroach on the neutral zone after the ball is ready for play by touching the ball or an opponent or by being in the neutral zone to give defensive signals. So that did not happen either. So then when we kick over to the next page in our rule book and we go to Article 7C, it says any A player on his line of scrimmage line between the snapper and the player on the end of the line, after having placed his hands on or near the ground, moves his hands or makes any quick movement. So this actually gives the snapper the opportunity to put his hand in the dirt and then pick it up, because he is talking about any player between the snapper. So in this play that we go back and we look at, the center has his hand on the ground. He's going to pick it up. He's going to turn and he's going to get a signal from the sideline, and then he's going to put his hand back down on the ground. Umpires, this is legal. This is legal. All right? Okay. Now, we looked at this play on a swinging gate formation, and the question was whether or not this was a legal snap. Let you look at it one more time. Hopefully, you guys talked about this. All right? We talked about this on the training committee a good bit as well, and there might be a little bit of a divide here. There's certainly some judgment involved in this particular decision here. But Article 2 says the snaps begin when the snapper first moves the ball legally, other than an adjustment. In a snap, the movement must be quick and in a continuous backward motion of the ball, during which the ball immediately leaves the hands of the snapper and touches a back or the ground before it touches a lineman, So again, let's go back and let's look at this, and we can determine, you can make your own judge. I believe it's a legal snap. Several on the training committee believe it is. Dr. Bodie he kind of debates it a little bit. He thinks he picks it up and throws it. It looks like it's one continuous motion to me. The crew obviously allowed this, and that's certainly a lot of judgment there. For us, what we need to do is we just need to make sure that we are aware of the rule. Now, I will say, mechanically, this crew, the deeps, are in the wrong place, and the referee is blowing this in, and he's not in his pre-snap position before blowing it in. All right. So review your 7-person mechanics. In this particular case, the deep officials, it's a 7-person crew. The deep officials should have been on the pylons, in the corner of the end zone. And then whenever we have a holder with his knee on the ground and a kicker in place, then is when we move to get ourselves into the proper position. So, again, mechanically, this crew didn't look great. I know we had a couple people in different positions there on this crew, but I do believe this was a legal snap. Okay, guys, this is a play that I shared with you last week, and I asked you to count how many fouls that we had on the play. So I'm going to let you watch this play run one time all the way through, and then we're going to go back and go frame by frame and try to count all of these fouls. All right, a lot going on this play. All right, so the first thing we want to do here is we have number 8 coming off the sideline, and he never gets inside the 9-yard mark, so we have a foul for illegal formation. We also have what I would consider an illegal shift on this play, so that's our second foul. Our third foul is a blindside block. Our fourth foul is going to be illegal participation by number 8. Our fifth foul is going to be a personal foul by white 20 here, hitting number 8. And then our sixth foul is going to be a dead ball foul on 8 black. Okay, let's go back and let's look at these again. We'll walk through it one more time. Okay, I'll just let it go live. All right, here we go. We have illegal formation. We have illegal shift. We have a blindside block. We have illegal participation. We have a personal foul on white 20, and we have a personal foul on black 20. And you could certainly consider disqualification for both of those fouls. Now, could you imagine having to report those fouls over the mic if you had a mic? Could you imagine trying to figure this all out to get the correct penalty enforcement done on a play like this? If we have multiple fouls on the play by black. We have one, what I would consider a live ball foul on white 20. I believe I would call that a live ball foul. If you call that a dead ball foul, and if you call the second foul by Black 8 a dead ball foul, then we would just pick probably the illegal participation foul by Black and administer that. All the other penalties would be declined, and then we would have 2 dead ball fouls, which would offset. And potentially, if you wanted to consider disqualification on the play for both of those players, you certainly could be supported by a rule for that. If you wanted to call the 20 white foul a live ball foul, then every foul by the Black and the 1 foul by the white, they would offset, and then we would just have the dead ball foul for Black number 8. Wow, what a play. Thank you for sharing this play. Hey, we're going to look at several plays here going forward. One is involving a punt formation, 3 clips involving batting, and then about 8 or 9 plays for defensive pass interference. We're not going to dive into any of these, but I do want to go through these. I think there's some stuff that you guys can talk about. Again, we're using these to discuss with our crews this week before our games. So, there's really nothing wrong with this play after the snap. I thought it was there. We don't see anything, but when we go back to the beginning of this play, take a look at the linemen that are on the line of scrimmage. Talk about this amongst your crew as to whether or not this formation is legal. What does the rule say about the line of scrimmage, linemen on the line of scrimmage, or for that matter, anyone on the line of scrimmage? Talk about that. How would you, if this is illegal, how would you handle it? What would you do? What is the penalty? Etc., etc. All right, so that's a play regarding the punt formation, specifically regarding the formation and the lineman. All right, this is a play where we're going to have potentially batting around the sideline. Okay, I'm going to zoom in and let you watch this again. We're going to look at a couple of these. I'm going to try to get over here a little bit so you can see it just a little bit better. So we have the runner, we have him fumble in blue, and we have white recover it. All right, so let's stop right there. Let's go back here just a little bit. He fumbles the ball, and then we have a player who may have been out of bounds, who batted the ball. Was he in bounds when he batted? Can he go out and come back in? He's a member of the defense. So talk about that play. These batting plays are always a challenge. Here's another play regarding batting. We're going to have a blocked field goal here. And then we're going to have the ball around the sideline again. All right, so I'm going to pause here and I'm going to zoom in a little bit so we can see this a little bit better. Again, this is near the sideline. The ball's batted. I'm going to move back here. I'm going to come here again. All right. Take a good look at it. Batted. The player was near the sideline. Okay, one more time. I'll let you look at it one more time. Was he out of bounds? If he's out of bounds, is still batting? Talk about that, okay? All right, then our last play involving batting, we have a pooch kick. If the ball hit the ground, we have a player hit the ball and it goes out of bounds. All right, watch it one more time. Pooch kick, ball hits the ground. We have a hit by the kicking team and the ball goes out of bounds. Talk about the result of the play. Talk about whether or not this is a bat or whether it's a muff. Talk about that, okay? Okay, let's take a look at these plays involving defensive pass interference. This very first play we're going to look at here is a pass play, I believe, that's coming right around the middle of the field, around the 43-yard line. We're going to see possibly defensive pass interference. Let's watch it one more time. Again, what we're looking at here is we're trying to determine if this is DPI, and if it is DPI, what category are we putting it in? All right, let's take a look at this next play. I believe this play happens right behind the umpire. Okay, one more time. One more quick look. Okay, let's take this next play. This play is, again, right near the umpire. Now, whether we have fouls on the field or not, we're not going to question the judgment. We're talking about it from our own perspective after review. If it is a foul, and what category are we putting it in? This play here, I believe, is going down the far right sideline. It's going to be a long pass play. Quick look at it one more time. One more look. All you deep officials. And then we're going to have a play here right around the 5 or 7 yard line. No, excuse me. This is also coming towards us, the bottom of the screen here, around the 30-yard line. Okay. Pass play down the sideline. We have contact. Is this defensive pass interference? If it is, what category are we putting it in? This play here, I believe, is right around the middle of the field. This play is, we talked about a play like this last week, but the ball is in the air here. Okay, the pass is not actually thrown to the receiver or where we have the contact. The pass is thrown to a different receiver, but the ball is in the air. One more time with that. Our next play is going to be in the far left pylon. I would note here the wing official or the deep official on this play is in good positioning, giving him plenty of room. Over the shoulder pass. One more time. 2 more plays, I believe. This one, I'm trying to remember. I want to say it's also going to the corner of the end zone, the far right corner of the end zone. One more time. And then our last play, I believe this one may be behind the umpire as well. Okay, so that's going to do it for our plays for this week. I just want to remind you about what our manual says about defensive pass interference. I know you deep officials and wing officials, you have some acronym that you use, P-Chang or something like that. You should be able to recall those very, very quickly. So when you look at these defensive pass interference plays, talk about these categories and which one you can put them in. All right. Hope you all have great games this week. God bless each and every one of you. Go be great, and we'll see you next week.